This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful website and grow your brand. Land Before Time is covertly a story about embracing vulnerability. All of these traumatized dinosaur kids are all just out in the wilderness trying to survive together. They've all experienced loss. They're all terrified. They're all trying to be strong for each other, but also for themselves.
I met the Sharptooth.
We're conditioned to see fear as weakness, and weakness means you get left or you get hurt.
Why are you so frightened? Frightened? Me?
We don't want to get left or hurt, so we project strength.
Oh, dear brave Sarah. Yes, I am brave.
And because you're afraid, you let your actions be dictated by that fear.
And I'm not afraid to be alone.
Conversely, acknowledging your fear is an act of courage.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Alan Seawright, a professional filmmaker who needs therapy. This is...
Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies. What's going on, brother?
You may be aware that we have a Patreon, and sometimes on our Patreon, our patrons tell us to do things, and we have to do it.
Yep.
It's the legal contract that we signed.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Okay, what are our benevolent overlords asking us to do today?
They want you to react to The Land Before Time.
Oh, wow. This was like a childhood staple, and then I kind of forgot it existed.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know who didn't forget it existed?
Our patrons.
The producers who've made 13 more movies, 2 TV shows, and I don't know what else.
Oh my gosh.
Billions of dollars, presumably.
I knew there were sequels. I didn't know there were that many.
There are 14 Land Before Time movies, and apparently numbers 11 through 14 are pretty good.
All right, well, we're going to stick with the OG. Let's do this.
Giddy up.
James Horner never phones it in as a composer.
Absolutely correct.
Or phoned, may he rest in peace. But I was watching this movie and I'm like,
Why is this music so good?
Three horns never play with long necks.
Littlefoot.
Three horns never play with long necks.
oh my gosh, the 80s were so woke. Blech.
Long necks.
Well, that's some cool animation. No, I'm mostly laughing at, like, people criticize agenda movies today, and I'm like,
Guys,
tolerance,
agenda-
inclusivity, and love have always been the backbone of good storytelling.
We were having fun.
And okay storytelling.
We were having fun.
To our own kind. The three horns, the spiked tails, the swimmers, the flyers. We never do anything together.
Why?
Well, because we're different. It's always been that way.
Well, why?
Oh, don't worry so much.
Stick to the stuff you know.
Many
Stick to the status quo. Just wanted to remind you of High School Musical.
Thank you. I'm actually glad you did.
I love to pop and lock and jam and break.
Is that even legal?
You gotta understand, folks, there was no Jurassic Park. So as kids, this was mind-blowing because we were watching dinosaurs on screen. And not only were they dinosaurs, but we cared about them.
They had feelings and stuff.
I lost my family in the big earthshake.
This type of storytelling about, we don't play with others because they're different. This has been done a lot since this movie came out.
Sure.
But for us in the 80s, this was eye-opening. This was something for us to consider.
Yeah.
This was something deep and profound. But it's speaking to the psychology of the pack or herd mentality.
Sure.
Us versus them, we stay together, we stay alive. And the thing about the herd mentality is it serves us until it doesn't, right? It's one of those things that kept all sorts of species, including our own, alive for a long time. But it's time to leave it behind because we've evolved past that. And this is the story of these characters evolving past it. Have you all seen our Cinema Therapy website?
It was so easy to build and customize using Squarespace.
Squarespace has tons of professionally designed website templates to choose from.
So once we found one that worked really well as a starting point for us,
With intuitive drag and drop editing and awesome visual designs, it was so easy to customize.
way easier than getting to the Great Valley.
Squarespace SEO tools will help you to get discovered fast.
Also faster than getting to the Great Valley.
Is that the only thing you know about this movie?
It's the only thing that happens in this movie.
Every website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more.
So you show up more often on search engines and reach more of your ideal audience of customers.
Squarespace Domains makes it easy to find the site name for your business at one all-inclusive price.
No hidden fees or add-ons required.
And every Squarespace domain comes with advanced privacy and security tools included.
So whether you need to build a website to chronicle your nomadic adventures,
Or to promote your gourmet organic tree stars,
or your tar pit spa treatments,
Squarespace will work for you.
and you won't have to spend months building a website.
So if you don't want your business to go extinct,
Do it.
check it. Yep.
Yep.
There we go. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch,
Go to squarespace.com/cinematherapy and use code
Cinema Therapy.
to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Oh, sorry, Jono.
Oh. Sorry, Jono, because I have a dead mom. Sheesh.
I mean,
Yeah.
not to put too fine a point on it, yeah.
Listen.
It's one of the most thematically strong parts of the movie.
No, listen, I've had 19 years to work through this. And it's still hard, but like, I think I'll be okay. Oh, never mind. No, I'm not.
Oh no!
Sheesh.
Sorry, buddy.
Sure I can, Littlefoot.
Yes, you can. Get up.
I miss movie music that you can hum, but also that has a lyric version in the end credits.
Do you know the way to the Great Valley?
I guess so. But why do I have to know? You're gonna be with me.
I'll be with you. Even if you can't see me.
What do you mean if I can't see you? I can always see you.
What do you mean if we're trying to save money by not animating the dinosaurs' mouths?
You know what?
Got you.
Thank you, actually, for making it easier to watch this
easier
scene.
for you.
So listen closely.
I think there's an artistic reason for it as well.
Oh, listen, the slow
isolation,
pullback
yeah.
is actually quite lovely. And like having it, go to dark in the rain, and like it's reflecting his internal emotional state. Like there's a lot happening here that's really good.
Yeah.
There's also, we have $12 to make this movie. And there's a bunch of ways you can tell. That's one of them.
Well, and that's what's cool about filmmaking, especially on a budget or when things are falling apart. I think Jaws is a famous example of this. Like, the shark isn't working. So we have to make a practical, budgetary filmmaking choice that's also a strong artistic choice.
Yeah, how do we scare the crap out of people when we can't show them the shark?
Right.
If you can't show, you imply, and honestly, most of the time, not with everything, but a lot of the time, implying is stronger emotionally.
Yeah.
The audience is going to cry if they see someone trying not to cry.
As far as the therapy side of things, when we lose the people that we love, and she says, I'll always be with you, that's an idea that's been repeated ad nauseum in so many different stories. And yet, it's still potent and powerful when you stop and consider it.
It is.
The lessons, the memories, the ideals, everything that this person gave you just by being them in your life, you still carry with you and you put that out into the world. And in Littlefoot's case, it's going to help him to survive.
No.
Yeah, back to characters just randomly changing colors. He's pinky orange now for some reason. Now he's gray brown. Now he's just gray.
Okay,
There! Ahead!
so candidly, in some ways, this movie has to be considered as a product of its time because it's been eclipsed by movies that have done this type of story better.
Sure.
As a child,
Here's the thing. This was the first kind of story like this that I'd ever seen as I was a kid.
exactly,
And mind-blowing.
It's you!
and it walked so others could run.
Why are you so frightened? Frightened? Me? Why are you so frightened? We're not frightened. Are we? Nope. Well, you should be.
Oh man, the camera registration is way out there. It gets so blurry.
Warn you. I met the Sharp Tooth. Sharptooth! Oh, come on, Sarah. Sharptooth is dead. He fell down into the big underground. And that's where he met me. Oh, dear brave Sarah.
Brave Sarah.
Eyelashes and everything.
Yes, I am brave. Sharptooth is dead. My father told
Listen.
me that flatheads had very small brains.
Sarah's kind of my queen. Like she's
Really?
the sass, man.
I can get my own green food.
Why are we all so afraid to admit we're afraid? And obviously these are little kids, and this is a very classic little kid version of this, right? Like
Yeah.
we've all heard and seen little kids do these things. But well into adulthood, like we're not wired to tell people what we're scared of. We don't want them to think less of us. Why is that?
I mean, obviously from times where we had to literally fight for our survival and fight just to eat, I think we have valued bravery and valor, right? And these are the people we look up to. They lead us, they inspire us. But we've got this screwed up idea that bravery means you're not scared.
Right.
And if you're not scared, then there's nothing brave about it. Honestly.
Yeah, most of the time that's just stupidity.
Right. We're conditioned to see fear as weakness. And weakness means you get left or you get hurt. We don't want to get left or hurt, so we project strength. And by the way, weakness doesn't mean you get left or hurt, at least not by the right people.
Yeah.
But we still believe that. It is a journey for a lot of people to get to a place of vulnerability to say, I'm sad, I'm scared, I'm embarrassed, I'm stressed, whatever's going on. And for that not to be a weakness, but actually for it to be a strength. Because ironically, failing to acknowledge your fear is an act of cowardice. You're afraid of being rejected. You're afraid of being judged. And because you're afraid, you let your actions be dictated by that fear. So that's the great paradox of that. Whereas conversely, acknowledging your fear is an act of courage. And I just think she's super fun. And also, to the point of what I was saying earlier, of this movie walking so others could run, this aged not great for me in the sense that I didn't find it as engrossing as I did as a kid.
Yeah. It's weirdly episodic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bunch of and then storytelling.
And this happens.
This, and then this, and then this, and not this, therefore this, which
Right.
caused this, which led to.
You're a nerd.
And then you have comic relief characters who we're now used to more nuanced storytelling, even in our family films.
Yeah.
Where the comic relief characters still have arcs and still have depth.
Yep.
And here you have a character whose entire purpose is literally to say, yep, yep, yep.
Yep, yep, yep.
That is what this character does the entire movie. And when I'm 7 years old in the 80s, I'm like, that's hilarious and adorable.
So funny. Yep, 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 yep.
And sometimes we can judge art from the past very harshly because we've experienced something else that's further down the evolution of art.
For sure.
But considering things in their time and place, what they accomplished and how they got us to where we are today helps us to appreciate them more.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yep, 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 yep. Okay.
Yep, yep.
Nope, nope, nope.
He'd never seen the Great Valley, but his heart told him that they were close.
Oh, yeah.
Surely at the top, they'd behold it finally.
This movie also has my favorite thing, which is a bunch of unnecessary narration.
But again, at the time, they're like, well, kids need to be told what's going on.
Yeah. Kids don't understand stuff.
Valley, you're crazy.
I will say,
Leaving. Sarah.
as simple as the animation and art design is sometimes, it's effective.
Oh, the art design is great. Not realistic, but I really, really like it.
Mother. Then she was the stupid long neck too. Take that back. Never. Take it back. No. Spike.
Oh, Spike! Stop!
Oh, Spike, you simpleton.
You. Let go of my leg.
Sheesh. Ooh, parkour.
Literally, shot to shot, completely different colors.
We never wanted
There's got to
to
be
win.
some kind of problem with the print that they
Yeah.
did. It's so weird. Anyway,
Oh, a
go
great,
your own way. I don't care.
well, a great illustration of any time we're angry, we're actually something else.
Yeah.
I think that's actually very effective right there at the end where he loses the fight and then he just tears up.
Yeah.
We didn't see him cry when his mother died, and that makes us cry. Here we see him cry, and it makes us cry because we know just how long he's been holding that inside.
Right.
And just how long he's been fighting to keep it from coming out. And that's the thing. I think Land Before Time is covertly a story about embracing vulnerability, because everybody, all of these traumatized dinosaur kids are all just out in the wilderness trying to survive together. They've all experienced loss. They're all terrified. They're all trying to be strong for each other, but also for themselves. So there's a lot of posturing. There's a lot of grandstanding. There's a lot of denial of fear or sadness. And then Sarah, I mean, I like her because she's sassy, but she crossed a line there.
Very much so.
You talk about Littlefoot's mom, you know, and maybe I'm projecting, but I'd knock her down a cliff.
I love you, but I will take you down.
I'm a little worried about what's going to happen to me.
Yeah, you got it coming now.
I really do.
Watch yourself. And as I said, underneath all anger is something else, a more vulnerable emotion.
Sure.
When we express those vulnerable emotions with people that we can trust them with, that's where we start to heal. You were talking before about how it's not safe to be scared, right?
Right, yeah.
That we have to hide that. When we actually acknowledge that we're scared or that we're grieving, and that acknowledgement is met with acceptance and affection, it's healing because we're not carrying it inside anymore. We feel seen, heard, and we have a community.
But why psychologically do we need to get emotions out? Stifling them is harmful, and we know that.
Right.
But do we know why that is?
I think a great avenue for anyone to explore if they're interested in the answer to that is Dr. Sue Johnson's emotionally focused therapy.
Okay.
Which is all about how we're basically emotions bitch.
We're very driven by it.
Just
You think you're rational.
no, and well, that's the thing is even our rational decisions tend to be guided by what we value emotionally.
Correct.
What emotional outcome we're searching for. And so the expressive part of it, there's a communal part, right? A connecting part. We connect for survival. We bond together for survival physically, but also emotionally. There's the satisfaction and enjoyment of life part of connecting with others and sharing ourselves with others. And there's the pain of isolation. And when it comes to why they have to be expressed, I know that there are neuroses that are tied to things not getting out. I won't reach beyond my grasp. We may have psychotherapists watching now who can speak to this better than I can because I'm more family and relationship focused.
Yeah, not a neuroscientist.
Right. But I do know that repressed emotions do negatively affect our nervous systems and our brains.
Okay.
And so there is something, we call it a release, that's not just a figurative statement.
Right.
You can feel a physiological difference when you've connected with somebody and let something out that you've been carrying inside.
Yeah, when you say, I feel a weight lifted off my shoulders, that is literal.
Yeah, that is a literal thing.
So there's a fascinating screenwriting choice that's made here. Sarah brings up Littlefoot's mom and says she must have been stupid. And that's when he basically, last gasp, gives up, starts crying.
Yeah.
We intuitively understand, you know, that was not just a last straw because it makes him angry because she brought his mom into it, but his reaction is getting at a deeper emotion where he has to hold on to his mom was right about this, or her sacrifice meant nothing.
Yeah.
Or maybe her love wasn't real, or maybe it's my fault, but there's something underlying there.
Or even our hope for survival is tied to what she told me. And if she's stupid, then she's wrong and we're all going to die. Like, frankly, there's a lot going on for poor
lot to
Littlefoot.
unpack, yeah.
And he's got, you know, a tiny little cephalopod brain.
Sauropod brain?
What's a cephalopod then?
An octopus. They got lots of brains.
Oh.
They're smarter than me.
Well, he's got a tiny, you know, big dinosaur, small brain. You were there. You had a childhood. Simba.
Yeah, not to throw shade or anything, but this is the OG Mufasa.
Yeah.
This is where Disney got it from.
It's kind of beautiful in its ethereal nature there. Look at that.
Yeah, no, it's really quite
Trying
lovely.
to do what you told me.
Wispy. Wispy is the word.
It's just too hard. I'll never find the Great Valley. Mother! Mother! Don't go, Mother! Don't go!
Sorry, kid, it's a cloud.
Oh my gosh.
There's a cephalopod for you. Actually, are squids cephalopods? I don't think they are.
Who even knows? But looky here. Either he did it, or he ate some mushrooms he shouldn't have. Either way, it's a good day for Littlefoot.
Don't lick that rock, Littlefoot. Wow, Yosemite.
Okay, all jokes aside, though, that is pretty.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
And the score is doing a lot of work right now.
Mm-hmm. Why do you do these hard cutouts? Man, like just when I'm getting emotionally invested or drawn into something, you're like, done.
That's why.
Gosh, man, I'll never get used to that.
Trying to ruin your life.
It will always hit me the wrong way.
Robin, the boy!
Littlefoot in here says, I can't do it. And then we don't really get to explore that. He kind of follows a cloud into a valley.
Right.
But I mean, that's obviously symbolizing, you know, following his mother's teachings and whatever. Like, you don't have time to, like, it's
Right.
a movie for kids in the 80s. We had the attention span of a gnat.
Right, but the music and the artistry show you he's following either his mother's spirit or what his mother taught him. Right, that's what gets him there.
What is the sort of, like, real life equivalent of that?
So when you feel like you can't do it, the best course, in my opinion, is to recognize others have already done it.
Right.
Whatever you're going through, odds are it's not unique to you. Like maybe the small specific details.
Right.
But there are others who can guide you. There are books, there are podcasts, there are therapists, there are stories that can communicate to you, this is how you get from where you are to where you want to be. Littlefoot, he had never been to the Great Valley. His mother had, and she told him how to get there, and that's how he gets there. And then, when you've experienced enough, you pay it forward. You pass it on, because everything you go through empowers you to help somebody else.
So you become the Magic Cloud scored by James Horner.
No, Alan, you missed it entirely. My gosh.
Yes.
It's very touching to watch along the way as these little dinosaurs both incorporate what they learned from their parents, which is helping them to survive, but then also grow past it. They form this new herd, this new community, and they abandon some of the things they got from their parents, who specifically told them, you know, we keep to our own kind, we don't play with people who are different than us. But now there's no choice, you know, and so they form this new family and discover that their parents were wrong.
Yep.
Their parents were also right in other things. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about human evolution and societal evolution is we don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. People aren't all good or all bad.
Right.
And if we're going to move forward, we have to keep the good and not just throw it away. And I would hope that by Land Before Time 15, the 7th generation of dinosaurs from this story are even more advanced socially.
I'm just curious if all the way through 14, it's still Littlefoot and Sarah and Petrie.
Yeah.
Have they had that many adventures? Are they the world's most traumatized dinosaur children?
Or do they grow up and do they have other generations? Tell us in the comments below because we are not going to watch these movies.
We will do it for charity, maybe, if we can find one that's worth it.
No, I'm glad to have revisited this original one, but I have no desire to watch anything that was direct to video in 1992. I just don't.
No, it was an interesting time to be a child.
So until next time.
You smell me?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. Yep.
Yep, 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 yep.
And watch movies.
Hey, we want to thank our patrons who A, selected this movie, and B, get a longer director's cut version of this episode and all our episodes, and a bunch of other stuff. It's great. You can check it out on our Patreon. People like
RD,
Tukushia,
Daniel Stewart,
Richard Goodwin,
Zaref 36.
Well, yep.
Yep, yep, yep. Thanks, you guys.
You are late. Yes, you are. Yep, yep, yep.